even the parents will say, why is it drawing? What is it going to help you? They don't ask you about math, where algebra, you're wondering where are you going to use it, but the art, they'll tell you what are you going to do.
This is not those interviews for still what's your name, introduce yourself. It's more a conversation about what you do in your journey. I have done a bit of research on your work and I've sort of read some of the interviews that you've been in. You've extensively been interviewed. So I don't want to ask questions about to rehash what is out there. But I think what I like about your story is you've been in Kenya throughout a lot of things of art. You've seen I think the 80s when art was beginning 80s, yeah. Then I'm assuming 90s things went down. I don't know how that went.
Mostly for me, 80s, 90s, exploring myself. I was still in my dad's house, so I didn't care whether I sold or not.
Yeah. So that was the beginning for you was always was it school or was it just your own?
Of course, in school I did art, primary school, secondary school, and then I joined poly.
Yeah.
So in Polytechnic I did graphics. And the only reason I did graphics is that you need a job.
What was graphics like in the 80s? Because
it was very manual.
It was manual. It was zile za kukata nini picha.
Nakata, you pimisha letters, write a poster, ikiharibika you do the whole thing again. But it was also the fact that it was manual, I learned how to minimize and to simplify so that it's clear. Because these days I see many people with computers sometimes overdo the poster.
You have so many tools to over edit, over synthesize them.
And as we were told, the most important is the venue, the title of what's happening, venue, timings, and then charges.
That was all that. You used to do events, what were the posters?
We're doing posters for so many things. We did for exhibitions, for races, sports events, TV shows, and for theater.
Okay, so after that, after graphics?
So after graphics, so my dad put me in where he was working.
Your dad,
he used to work for Kenya Railways. He wasn't interested a lot in art, but he just wanted you to get a job. So I remember saying, you'll never buy a bed. If you become an artist, you'll never buy a bed. Because he was a very good musician.
Yes.
He was supporting his family, music. So he was afraid about how can you survive. So my mom is the one who he's got his certificate now. That's how I came to that.
So you started railways at that time? How did you?
I went there, stayed Yogo, I think.
What was the scene there at that time? When you started?
You are doing parastatals. He used to have a department for graphics.
Yes.
Where you brand the cars, you write the PO box, the logo. But it was very manual. The logo is too big, Gary. We from Kenya, Kesho. Gary made a job. So it was very cumbersome. So I just went and told him, let me try fine art. Let me see if I can survive Apple. Because that's where my heart was.
So this whole time you're home, so you started
working from home. So I actually asked him for some money. Then he was like, no. So my mama came to so me, I started with 2,000 shillings. You woke up very early because there used to be a shop in town. They used to sell paint very cheap, but you have to go very early because they used to bag. So you were there by 8, so you bought the cheapest paint, Mary paints. You bought some canvas, cheap one. Then the undercoat, very cheap type.
At this time, how did you know to buy this thing? How did you know?
I had been walking around, and when I was in Polytechnic, I met some artists who also, they're schooling and they're out there. And then I visited the Corner Trust to tell them at the National Museum. So I met some guys there, and they were giving me all these notes. I think I had taken part in one workshop in Ancient Soul. So I knew where to find all these things.
Actually, we'll talk about Ancient Soul.
So I went to town and bought all these things. So at that time I was still working again from home.
Yeah.
We had an extra room where my brother used to stay.
Bigger brother?
Yeah. But sometimes he wasn't around. So I'd wait during the morning, I'd go there and lock myself, paint till evening. And then once a week, I think it was Wednesdays or Thursdays, I used to go down to town, French Culture Center, go to institutes, National Museum, just go around and see what's happening with artists.
So were you telling people you're doing art as well?
Yes.
Were you exhibiting?
In the beginning,
How did you?
in the beginning, my mom told me that if you want to do art, be proud of yourself. Because many people don't.
Why are you?
Even today, I find people don't want to say.
Yeah.
They don't know, they feel like they are inferior. So she told me, I told them to know mahindi. And I said, I'm not mahindi. I don't want to talk in future. So I used to tell people I'm meeting artists, gallery watatu, that time was big time, for example. And you meet people and then you get information about exhibitions coming.
That thing for not talking about what you do, I think it's called imposter syndrome. Yeah, but it is that I feel like
inferiority also.
Probably you don't think you deserve it because sometimes
you seem very nice looking, no confidence. Some artists, there are many artists who are like humble, or they think they'll be ridiculous. Okay?
But also it comes with age, it comes with the experience.
Yes,
experience has a
it's
way.
Like now when I teach children, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're very bold. And then they go into 11 and 12, 15, 16.
They become conscious of them.
Then they block you. So it depends on the age also. Okay. Some even don't want to talk about their own. And right now, an artist has to be many things. There's things like branding, but branding is saying art also. There's things like marketing strategies.
You have to think about all.
You need to know what's happening, and then knowledge.
We're jumping ahead to the bit that I want us to get to. But before we get there, sorry for interrupting. Just continue with your journey.
So working from home, once a week I'm out there, then I hear exhibitions. And then when it comes to November, December, I used to do a lot of, just to earn money, Christmas decorations.
On the decals, like on the windows.
And those days it used to be good money because we were few. A window, 500 bob. So I used to put my canvas candle and then take this paint and go around with another friend. And we go Nairobi, Mombasa.
So they bought the paint and then now you do the...
Yeah, buy the powder one, which is different. So during one of those rounds, I met some artists in Kijana Street. They told me if you enter this house up there, there's an organization to make paintings on health. HIV that time was very big.
This early 90s or late 80s?
And I'm not very good in memory.
It's alright.
Yes, okay?
It's okay.
So he told me, just up here there's an organization that collects some works on HIV. So I went home, came back with some pieces. I had a piece on a video, cried over a grave, over a coffin or something like that. A very beautiful painting. So I delivered it there and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's about 2 or 3 pieces. And the lady there at that time, Ruth Schaffner, she told me they don't take human figure painting, take no self. But this one is good for the thing. I had a painting where one of the ladies sitting on a basket and started an advertisement from Unilever.
Oh, at this point, have you started doing the round women? Or you
No, just no big women. But I started with big canvases.
Yeah.
But it was more proportional.
So was it intentional that you got the Unilever on the...
I just done the painting of a lady standing in front of a bus stop in Saudi, and that it had Roy Commission on it. So it entered the competition, and I forgot about it again. So around that time, November, my dad sends the driver home, lunchtime, and says, "It's a place called Matatu, they're looking for you." So I remember Matatu. So the driver took me there, and I entered it, the lady in charge, it was Schaffner. She was a big time promoter. She was there. I introduced myself. I said, oh, where were you? You got second prize. You got second prize and your check is here. And then I put it at 10,000.
How long were they looking for you?
For 3 weeks.
No way.
3 weeks after the prize ceremony. Said somebody told them they had my dad who works in railways, just across there in town. So they went to send somebody there, got a number for his office. And we were looking for you, you got second prize. So you got this amount.
10,000.
No,
What?
the check at that time was like 5,000 first, second prize.
Yeah.
And then the painting was 10,000. We bought it for 20,000. You believe her? So she gave me another check again. Then she gives me 5,000 shilling voucher to science. So I was like, wow!
What was that? That was like the biggest check you've ever seen.
I didn't even know how to cash it. So I came out of Kalamatatu and ran home. I went to the matatu, it was taking too long. I just ran home. Went for my mom, I need to cash these things, man. Look at all this. This one is yours because I gave her the one for 20,000.
Those are the post-bank checks. Some of the
normal checks, huh? So what you used to do, you endorse it behind, and then they take it, put it in an account. So I gave her going cash. Tomorrow, I couldn't sleep, I'm just waiting for money. So she went and brought the cash. But I gave her one of the checks. So that's how I started. So I knew that this lady, she never used to like figurative. She wanted more naive and abstract. But she could sell.
So promoter now.
Yeah. So I knew what I liked and somebody likes it. I don't need to follow the galleries and I just do what I like. So that's how I started my art career. In fact, I forgot about going back to the windows. That year I did finish windows.
25,000. Who am I? Like you said.
I was up here now.
So did you move out or just continue working?
I still continue working from home.
What did that money do for you?
So the money, of course, December is coming in, you buy new clothes. It's a lot of bajia. We used to have competition in college. So bajia was there.
Your solvent, kuna pesa.
And then materials. So I bought a lot of canvas, a lot of paint. Some paint I've never used before. Even that voucher I went just to palette knives and things like that. Come January, when everything is coming down, nobody knows what to do. And I have all this material. It's really now. I said to my career. So it took me quite some time before I moved out.
So the realization for you was now you have all this equipment, you have all this stuff, and you have to do something with it.
It's usually like, I know many artists when they don't have money or they can't move around, they are very creative. They sit down and do something. And if the material is there, they produce. So that's how I started. That following year was now trying to become more professional. Working hours.
What actually took you to the point of thinking that you should be professional? Because I'm assuming a lot of people's career is they always stagnate at a point. And then they hit their professionalism. They realize that they need to be professional for them to sell a lot more. Was it the fact that you interacted with a Schaffner?
Not everybody has got common sense. So what I did, one of those days I go around, I went to BMW, they had a showroom in town. And one of the guys there told me, go to the national. It's a studio called Corner, they also organized this show. So I went there and I met some artists there now. They tell me, we come from this time to this time. We do this and that. So that day I went home and I realized, they have working hours.
Like everyone else.
So my plan for that year was to work only. I go in the morning, come back in the evening. Every day.
So is that corner now?
Yes, it is in the National Museum. So that's why I started doing and then the other year they followed, and now I'm looking for exhibitions and all. So that's how I slowly stumbled into becoming a professional. Having working hours, contacting people, looking for exhibitions, slowly like that.
How did you navigate things like, because at the beginning I'm assuming any artist, there's always a struggling period.
Yes.
Even if you had the money, I'm assuming it was now you got into the grind of what working, and then you are with other people at work.
Yes, meeting other artists,
Yeah.
looking out. The time I was working on with Elijah Ogira, and he was already into this. So I got to see what he's doing. And try and do
So
the same.
you chose to, what you're teaching the other artists right now, you started doing that, like learning at the feet of
Other artists.
other
You just see them. You need somebody to guide you. You need
Also,
somebody to look at also.
I feel like you are very outgoing, so that
Yeah, I
also
wasn't-
makes you endearing.
I wasn't very, but I knew what I wanted, so I went.
Yeah.
If I had something, I went. If somebody was talking about an exhibition, I was there.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn to survive. Of course, the third year into art, when I was thinking of moving out.
From Kwana.
I need
From home.
I need a space for my own.
Yeah.
And then my dad suddenly died. And then, because he was sick like 2 weeks. And then he just died. So, but my mom was already sick for like 10 years. Cancer slowly. So he died suddenly. So I stopped. I didn't want to move out here. But the same year, I think November is when my mom again died. So after that, of course now you have to take care of yourself. But of course they had planned how we shall live it. They left instructions. The next year I was invited to go to London. Or actually Birmingham actually.
So you're still in your 20s or you're still in your 20s?
For me, everything for me as a teenager. I wasn't like, it's about the person who was teaching me pastel, he was younger than me. I'd never seen pastel. So I had everything late, even moving out late. But I was called now to go to London, the Common of Things. There's an art project. And the thing that made me go actually is because I could do sign language.
Oh, how did you get to do sign language?
So when we used to work in Corner, there used to be students' homes. So I met some deaf guys and they introduced me to a program called Art School Disabled. So I was put into the deaf group. Then I did a small course of sign language.
It's interesting, huh?
So when I went to London, came back after a month, I do now how to write.
So what did London do for you? Was there any...
Of course, you see art, international artists.
It's the first time you're traveling.
Yeah, you're seeing new smells, things. So of course my daughter, and then I went to an exhibition by Lucian Freud. And he was with somebody I think working back. So coming back I was like fired. And that's when I decided, let me just look for a place and find a good time.
So at this point, did you have already a style that you
It wasn't there,
or you were headed there?
Yeah, it was there. I used to paint more like Michelangelo. Paint fine art kabisa. Each corner of the canvas you've calculated, balancing colors, and then forms and shapes.
It was like
the women were not very sana. They were there but more masculine. And then slowly while walking and hanging around the Soko in town in Ruma, there's that Kasoko Palinje. I started doing sketches too in town. So I could do sketches everywhere. And then the women now started becoming more solidified. But I didn't know exactly.
You didn't realize what you were doing.
So one day I did a workshop in international school. And they presented my work. So by the end of the week, the students were told to have questions for me. So that Friday we were doing the talk, they asked me a question. And one of them told me, so I realized you draw a lot of big bats. And I was like, oh yeah. Why do you draw big bats? So that's when I realized actually most of my sketches are from behind. But the reason why I drew like that is because when I went to these marketplaces, I'm outside drawing people, they didn't like me a lot. So they would point at me. So I used to wait for them to look away and I do a big sketch. So that's how it developed. It's only later on I decided it can be a brand also. So when I went later on to a small branding course, I discovered I could brand it myself.
This is in the 90s, they were doing courses on branding for artists?
Not for artists, for any other business. So I discovered, I can use this.
What is that you have? Because it feels like you have become motisha ndani yako. This keeps making you better. You're trying to be better for yourself. But as well, it also feels like apart from that angle, you're trying to be better for yourself. You're also trying to teach a lot. So even you presenting to ISK students, I'm assuming that was a way of you showcasing art and sort of teaching them.
Right now, I know that if you're relevant, if you're always visible, you survive. Okay? But then it was somebody comes and tells me they want to learn. I can't do this something. So I work with people, a lot of people. A teacher would come and say, my students are not inspired. We go and try to inspire them. The connection of schooling and life outside is very simple. The students will go to art classes, and when they go home, even the parents will say, why are you doing? What is it going to help you? They don't ask you about math, where algebra, you answer where are you going to use it, but in art they'll tell you what are you going to do. So you go to school and you try and just show the students that I'm working as an artist, and I have this plant, and this is my work. To be an artist, music, actor, you need to have an ego. It's only you need to know when to switch it off. But you need that ego to have the courage to walk to an exhibition and think you're the best, and then come back and say, oh my God. Because artists, even today, they write to me, what can I do to sell my work? I paint. I tell them, just take part in group exhibitions. You will know immediately your painting is put next to another one, you'll know your weaknesses. And that's what used to drive me. You take it to the museum, you think you're the best painter, you put it there, opening night, you come and you walk away from your painting. Because the one that is on this side and this side is quite strong. And you see next show, they will see. So it drives you, that ego.
But then it's also a generational thing. I feel like nowadays a lot of kids who are starting out, they believe in themselves so much, but then they believe in themselves to the negativity of like their art. So you'll stick to something that you believe that is good, and you don't take the time to see that there's something else.
There's something else happening
from this other person. Considering even your Instagram, even considering you can go on Instagram and look at another artist's page. And look at yourself and you're like, okay.
So they feel that they know everything. The culture is instant gratification.
Yes.
You want to become an artist and earn money immediately and spend it. Instead of first learning the tricks, knowing light and shadow, knowing perspective, things like that. They don't want.
You take a camera, you can afford 20,000 shillings, but I'm a photographer.
Yeah, I'm a photographer now. And they don't take the time to study the light, how light works. They don't take the time to look at how when the sun is at midday, there is a shadow. They are just on the phone, and they don't want to learn and discover small things that make the picture right. Okay? Some people learn it by chance. Some people have to go. Some of my things is chances. It's just chance. Some school. So school taught me red plus yellow is orange. Instead of me taking the paint, jaribu pocket, to say you've wasted already. The school taught me golden section of a painting. How do you make the composition? Instead of just working and then one day you discover, wow, this one has worked. So we waste a lot of canvases. So school can help you that. And then sometimes you stop and go and look at other people working. But these days, they just want to start and they think they know everything. And even one painting, when you're working on one painting, it reaches a point always where you want to give up. But if you've known the technique, you've seen somebody else tackling it, you can continue. And that's why you find many new artists have a lot of unfinished works. Always when you're working, you go like this, and then suddenly it stops. So for me, when it happens like that, I can leave the work for 2-3 days and come back and continue.
Yeah.
But those ones they don't understand, they just leave it. That one is not working. Maybe just take some time to learn.
That's true.
No.
Sorry.
So for me, both schooling and me visiting artists and then just practicing, you learn things.
Okay. So you've now discovered that there's a theme in your art, which is big butts. Where do you move?
So right now, actually, the big butts became like
Was it a
the
running
brand.
joke for you? Were you like?
It became a
funny
brand
for you?
because it just
Yeah.
it was there. But also it connected also with the audience,
Yeah.
the locals and everybody who buys. The myth is African women have big butts. Okay? So some people would come and buy because of that. When we go back to our country, we go in Africa, we have to show these big women. See there? And then others would, women of course, in fact mostly women who buy my work like the idea that beauty can also be big. It doesn't need to be a thin model. When they are selling milk, they use a thin model. They are selling medicine, a thin model. Mercedes Benz. So let's also glorify the big women. Okay? And then now also it's become a conversation. So there is a party for a living, MD who's living, and she's big. And then they say she's got everything, she doesn't have a painting. And then they go like, you know that guy who paints those big butts? I get a phone call. So, Chola mama mkubwa because she's also big. Some deals I get like that, even today. Okay? So I do also other subjects, but those ones always keep on coming back. People like, we need one like that.
So the branding that you took, I'd assume is not logo-wise, but now it's like the
image of the big butt.
The image of the big butt. So when you're presenting more of your work to exhibitions, are you now going more with that?
Yeah, I started going like that, but now I also have different subjects now.
Yeah.
But the big butts is the one that. So I do metal, men, I do charcoal.
Oh, you do
a lot
metal?
of men.
What do you do metal?
During the 2007-8 violence,
Yeah.
I was in America, I wasn't around. So when I came back, all these burnt houses in the ghetto, the color of the metal first attracted me. Those were my bodies that are burned. So I started going, collecting some. I will exchange with people. They give them new ones, they give me the old ones. And just from my sketches, I decided to convert them to sculptures. So mine are usually flat sculpture, but it's the shape of men, mostly men in very aggressive postures. So that became another series called Siasa Mbaya Maisha Mbaya. I've done all these things. Charcoal, I do a lot of big charcoal pieces of men, again, but always somebody will come and say, I want one of these ones and then one of those ones.
So a lot of times I feel like artists, when you're gravitating towards something, a landscape artist, or cartoonist, or whatever artistic work. So most of the times it's, apart from the characters that you're putting out, there's also a message that you're trying to. So
each piece has got a message.
Yeah.
Okay? For women, mostly if you go to any society, if you go to any society, anywhere, and you want to know if there's discrimination against another group, the women will be the ones affected first. If there's discrimination against people talking too much or women talking too much, the women are very quiet. If it's a liberal society, the women are much more brighter. You can know a society from the women and children, not the men, the women and children. The men have an ego, they maintain a certain look. Even if there's poverty, they pretend. But the women, you just see it. The drapery clothes will be more dull, much older, no. And if there's wealth, you see again in women. So like when I went to India, it's very visible, different towns, where they have more wealth. Even in the Shamba, they have brighter saris, more bangles. Where there's poverty, you can see they've got less, less bright. Even here in Kenya, the same. I was doing some work in the refugee camps in Turkana, and if you go out there in the town, you can see the difference is big. When I was hanging around with the children and the women, you could see they complain no food, no water. They have to go look for water far. But in the evening, you go to the town and the men are there, they're drinking Tusker. And you ask them, this money, you could use it to buy borehole, buy a bicycle or a wheelbarrow for them to get water. And they told me, no. That is a different life. We need our beer and to relax in the evening to be sane. Others will go mad also has troubles. But the NGOs and the UN will supply the water, food. They never bring the beer. So then they were saving money for the beer because they knew the NGOs will bring the food.
So what is you're saying we are complacent?
No. Everybody is trying to cope with the situation. So them they are using the excuse of and they need to be sane, to relax with alcohol so that they can sleep well at night.
Do you have a part of your life where that happens to you?
No, for me I just
in your growth, because I always say we tend to show the best part of our growth. And
of course it's in the beginning when you sell a painting and then you discover it's not easy to sell a painting because now you have bills. So there are times when things are hard, kabisa. And when I moved out, sometimes even no fare to go to Uruma. But my father's house is just in South B. But I told myself, no, I won't go. I used to sleep in town, just sit in the bus stop till morning. Because I knew if I started going there when I'm broke, when I'm almost giving up, I'll just go and give up. So I just kept on continuing.
You know, it's also I also want to indulge you as well. Is it a generational thing as well? Because sometimes when you hear someone it's very easy for people to give up.
Yes.
It's very easy. Just
these days it's very easy.
Huh?
Yes. So it can be, but also I've seen guys in this generation also working hard.
Will it also be your upbringing?
I don't know if it's my upbringing, because I was brought up in a very nice house. 4-bedroom house, 5-bedroom houses. Driver.
Were you taught to be resilient as well?
No, I think it's just me.
Or was it you looking at your parents?
Like my mom, she was very active.
Yeah.
My dad had a very big job, so he was an executive.
Yeah.
But my mom was a nurse. At the same time, I had a bakery. At the same time, shamba, makuku, things like that. So she was always out there. Yeah. And me, I told myself, so, even I can do it. I used to have friends telling me, where are you going Saturday night? I'm going to the studio, and then I go, why? They go out.
That's so much discipline, huh?
Yeah, so me, I used to just see them, and then Sunday morning, I'm going to the studio, I see them coming from the club, going home to sleep. It's only now I know why. Some of them come and tell me, you know what? You knew what you were doing. I got a job, Barclays. When they laid out people, I was out, and I have nothing else to do. There's one, he's gone back to live in his teenage bedroom with his mom there. And he had a family, everything, but because the job went dead, even the family decided to allow him, they threw him out, his own children. Okay? But for me, I just felt like I need to do something in this world. How can you just come, live and go? I used to push. And that's why when I got my own studio, and somebody comes, walks in and tells me...
After Huruma, you are working at your own?
Yeah, it was a small house, and then I used to go to the museum.
Yeah.
And then, I think I decided, some guys at the museum told me, but I went to Huruma, there's house, the flats we had, come to Waidaka. So I went to Waidaka one night, slept there from a friend's house. Next day I looked for a place there, which was more like greens, nearer to the museum, and that's it. I moved like that. In the meantime, Go Down was opening also, so I moved there, got a studio space. Yeah.
This is when is this? Late 90s, 2000?
2000, yeah. I can't remember details. Okay. So when I went, now you have a space where you open your door.
Now you're in your 30s or you're in your 40s, you remember?
30s, yeah. I spent so much time working. Every day of the year, people would come to the museum for Christmas, and they would bring for me lunch. They just say, we knew you were going to be here.
Oh,
So I could get like 4 or 5 lunches on Christmas Day or Easter or Jam holiday. People will bring. Because I used to go every day.
For you, I feel it's discipline that got you to where you are.
Discipline and also the drive to make a mark, you know. Because you see paintings from 400 years ago, you say, wow, somebody like that doesn't need a gravestone. The painting is representing him. He was there. So drive like that. In fact, going to Europe now, I went very late. I was late. There are guys who go now at 20, 22. And they come back and they don't take that knowledge.
They go there, selfie.
You know, my selfie to my, yeah. But when I went, I noticed a lot of things. And I would tell myself, if I had gone 10 years earlier, maybe my life would have been different.
I hear you. I used to be in an organization called ISEC, it's a student organization. I travel a bit with it. But the thing about traveling, it opens your eyes.
Yes. I went to a village in Holland, and this old lady came and told me, I'm not racist, or I don't think you are less than me, but I want to touch your skin to see if it comes out the color. Because my grandfather used to work in the coal mines, and when they came home, they were dark. They used to play with their skin like that. So she touched me and said, it doesn't come out here. She was very old. And she asked me about my work, how I came to Europe, you know, she was interested. So you discover that even in Europe, there are people who don't know things. They're just dumb because they've been there for all their life.
And also, actually, I don't think it's dumb. It's being dumb. It's they don't know it.
They don't know, yeah. Somebody who's traveled can talk to you very well. But somebody who's never traveled, even in America, somebody is telling me, what? You have Kenya shillings? What is that? The dollar is the main thing. You tell them, no, there's also different money out there.
There's so many dollars.
Go to a place, they still have wells to collect water, Koroboi lights. The only thing that is modern there is a gun and cocaine.
Drugs.
Drugs.
Sort of
So at night, police, you hear police, but they live with no electricity. They have to go to the well. So there are places which are very, so it opens your mind up.
Yeah.
Okay. First time, I'm in Italy at the airport, and a white man is sweeping the plane. You go like, okay.
For you, just open your mind.
This is something new. And you tell somebody here like that, they say, no way. Wapi, oh, mona.
Yeah.
So you discover you are the same. Okay? And then a friend of mine called Jimmy told me, Jimmy Ogonga, if you sit down with somebody from the first world and they ask you 3-4 questions before you can ask them one question, it means they know you're clever than them. And they want to take as much as possible. And I would teach kids here. I go to an international school.
Yeah.
I teach a kid. The next year, they've gone back to their country. And I would get a phone call from a school. There's a kid here who says you know how to teach. And me believe. I'm there for 2 weeks teaching just because of a small kid. And I discover they're even recording how I'm teaching.
Well, the guys where you go to.
They want to know why. Why does he teach until they understand? You know, art, you can go to teaching school, but to teach art is very hard. You need to connect with your students in a way and explain in a way they can get it.
Actually, no, I think you're a better teacher. It's not even about art. You know, it's just you're a better teacher.
So they would call me because of that.
Yeah.
I went to another college again in Holland. And I was doing a residency program. And then the teacher told me, can you run the class tomorrow because I have to rush somewhere. So I ran the class. The third day, they just want me to run it. And they tell the teacher, he teaches better than you because he explains. I got a 3-year contract where every year I could go for 1 month, just because of that. But how also I learned, I don't know. I know just I was in a place where kids used to come, and you have to make something. You know, I was in the National Museum, and you're told 20 kids are coming. Can you do something with them after they've seen the natural history? Yeah, I write a list for materials. So I come early, they didn't bring all the materials. kids, not 20, 100. You sit and start thinking. So you
So
start
you have to be
using
creative.
soil.
You have to be creative
Yes.
with what you
So that's how I started learning to do programs for kids. Using soil, charcoal, leaves, you know, choka. So it was something, because I was there, I had to come up with a solution.
Also because, you know, kids they don't know any better.
Yeah.
So they're happy with just.
And if you choose them, I will work with this group, you go, you're leaving out somebody maybe there who was passionate here. So I never used to divide them. Let's come and we work together. If it's 10 pencils, you break it into 4 pieces, for at least you get. And then you try and work with all of them. And right now I meet some guys who tell me, you know, you came to our children's home and you taught us with maca. We went out there, we drew with maca. From that day I never went to the office to ask for paint. I started doing maca, now I'm a full-time artist.
That's nice.
And you go like, what? Somebody's telling me something tough. Especially when they get drunk, these artists, they tell you stories where we met for the first time.
Yeah. So now you've started to go down, you have your own lockable.
You go and open your studio, you feel like a professional.
How is that for you?
Studio, you feel like a professional.
People to
You can call people. And then also I discovered that I need to have working hours.
Yeah.
Somebody will call me, I'm on my way to Mombasa. I want to pass and buy a present for a friend in Mombasa. And I know you're always there by 7 o'clock. So I could get people coming 7, 5 in the morning. Somebody is going to South Africa.
They could rely on you.
Yes.
And have a flight at 9. Then you just pass by and get some.
And many artists are like, when they sell a piece, you don't see them. Ati anaenda kujitibu.
True.
You still need to have those working hours
And keep them consistent.
as much as possible.
Alright, so go down is where now you've got an address, you've got, you know, sort of.
And then also, there was a seminar on some business guys, how companies work, operate, things like that. So I decided to attend one of them.
What's that drive? Because it feels like you don't know whether it will help you, but when
Hey, you just go and
just go, just feel like it's a different thing.
Yeah,
for you,
it's,
so try it.
And then the companies actually panga themselves. You know, there's a department here, marketing, manufacturing, the management. And I started thinking to myself, mimi ndio factory. I produce the work. Sindio? And if you go to Unilever and the guy who's making Omo, he doesn't know where it's sold. Inauzwa aje. Then at the end of the month they want mshahara. Sindio? So when I'm painting in my studio, I'm that person. I'm just supposed to concentrate. And I do not target. I'm not a sales. I just work on what I feel like.